What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Obviously, we've just won a game finally. Once again, I thought I'd go live nice and quick, make it nice and short and give you my thoughts on this game. Burnley nil. I'm happy to say that, kept a clean sheet. Manchester United won. And, it wasn't a, I mean, if you watch the game, it wasn't anything to really write home about. It wasn't the best game we've ever played or anything like that. And it wasn't some sort of classic. But the main thing is we got the job done. And when you consider the fact that we started the game off, we're looking at the starting lineup and already seeing that Martinez is injured, been carrying a knock. I think a lot of us knew that anyway from the Arsenal game. He's been carrying a knock anyway, and obviously from the end of last season. So we struggled in that. We saw that straight away. Evans has come in, and when you think when we signed Johnny Evans on that free, nobody was excited. I don't think, other than Johnny Evans and his family. And yeah, cool. Main thing, like Jason just said, 3 points is 3 points, and that's the main thing. That team. You look at the starting lineup. You see Medjugorje starting. You see who's obviously top two, kind of free of Højlund and Rashford. And the worst thing actually for me was seeing McTominay start. But like I said, positive is we got the 3 points, and that's what we can say. And then, yeah, we'll start from there. Jason's already chucked it in the chat. Evans man of the match for me. I think you have to be honest and say it's either Evans or Bruno, right? I think Evans was absolutely solid today. He did a great job. Jason, if you're on late, if you are in the position to, maybe I can send you the link. You can jump on the show if you're available. But I'll continue talking about Evans and Bruno. Let's start with the Evans off. No, not offside. Was it offside? No, it was offside for Højlund. The Evans offside goal, lovely goal. The guy really, we give him a lot of stick, or a lot of us gave him a lot of stick, in the sense that you're not the guy that we wanted to cover us as defensive coverage. But here we are. We've got him starting off in our sixth game in the Premier League already because of injuries, and he performed very well. Hats off to Evans. Absolutely excellent performance. Then you're looking at, like I said, Bruno, who was also very good. I'm a big fan of Bruno. Bruno is absolutely world class player, in my opinion. And that was a completely world class finish. Absolutely world class finish. All you people that been talking about Bruno, hold that one. And I know people are gonna be like, oh, we needed him against the big teams. Arsenal, Tottenham, Bayern, and he wasn't there. He didn't show up. Well, he showed up today, and that's what that matters. That's all I care about. That's what that matters. He's showing up today. He'll hopefully show up again against Crystal Palace if we play in one of those two games, because our next two games are both Crystal Palace, one in the League Cup and one in the Premier League. But that's my first point anyway. The first point was Bruno and Evans were really, really good in this game. Like I said, Evans was a surprise. I'm biased, so I'd probably give my man of the match still to Bruno. But yes, I get it. Evans was a man of the match just because we're so surprised by the fact that this guy, we weren't expecting this from him, and he played his heart out. The assist for Bruno's goal was reminiscent. Everyone's gonna say it, but it was reminiscent of the pass from Rooney, crossfield. And yes, like Jason just said, finish from Bruno, absolutely world class. I love it. I loved it. But like I said, overall the game wasn't anything to write home about. Second point I'd like to make really is that, and thoughts on this as well from you guys in the comments in the chat. Rasmus is still very raw. Rasmus Højlund is still very raw, and couple that as well with the fact that him and his partnership with Rashford is not quite there yet. They still having to work it out. They're not really clicking yet, and I hold hope for both of them, because I'm a big Rashford fan. I'm a big, so far, Rasmus fan, and he looked very raw today. He wasn't really, his passing was a bit off. His he had a few shots, nothing really went for him. So yeah, I think we have to be patient with him. Obviously, he scored, you could say, 2 goals in 2 games, because he had that one chalked off for offside. Well, for the ball going out of play. But I think he's raw. That's it really. I think he's raw, and we'll be patient with him. But it was nice to see that he actually played 90 minutes. It's good and bad in a way, because one of my other points, which I'll get onto in a minute, is the fact that Ten Hag didn't make any subs. But let's continue with the players first and foremost. So obviously, yeah, we've talked there about Rasmus being raw, but I mentioned also his partnership with Rashford is not really clicking. But also Rashford himself, I think, needs to get his head in the game. Like I said, I'm a big fan of him. The group chat was going off. People in the group were saying, Rashford isn't really is not it really. So straight. People weren't really rating Rashford, but I will still hold out for the guy. I think he's a good player, and I'm very confident that he can give us. I should have really what I should have done before going live was kind of pull up the reasons I think this, and one of the reasons off the top of my head is that people saying that he doesn't have much football IQ, and that's something that he needs to fix up. Especially today, you saw that, and you've seen it every season since we pretty much had Rashford in the team, that he does struggle to make the right decisions, or and even today he struggles to make the right decisions. There were times when the pass just wasn't there, and he wasn't making the right pass. He was shooting when he shouldn't have been shooting. He was passing when he shouldn't have been passing, and it was not even just that. He was dribbling and running into players when he shouldn't have been, and it can be frustrating with Rashford, and we all get frustrated with him in those regards. But he does provide a lot to the team, in my opinion. And like I said, in terms of stats, etc., goals, assists, that kind of goal contributions, he's only had one bad season, which is last season. Not last season, the season before last. Obviously, last season was his kind of return season. But the season where he had that injury, and he struggled with injury, and we had Ragnick and Ole, etc., and that last season, that was, I think, his only bad season since he's been in the team, stats wise, anyway. So for me, I think Rashford deserves our patience, but he does need to fix up, right? And then that goes on to my next point, which is about Garnacho. I would have taken off Rashford in this game. Even with all that said, I love him. I want him to do well, but I would have taken him off. And it would really confuse me that one, Ten Hag didn't make any subs really until he brought Amrabat on, which is another point we'll talk about later. But then he didn't take off Rashford which, even if you don't want to take off Rashford, why is Garnacho not getting some game time? And I think that's the second game in a row now. Garnacho didn't come on against Bayern either. And we want Garnacho to progress. We want him to do well. We want him to get better. But I didn't see. I'm still confused. Why wasn't he brought on? And like I said, mainly not mainly, but partly also because Rashford wasn't really doing it. So take him off, rest him. Obviously, you're looking forward and you're thinking, okay, our next game now is against Crystal Palace in the League Cup. So maybe he's going to be playing. Garnacho is going to start, and you know what? I'd hope he does. But Ten Hag, he'll probably just play his strongest team. So it was really, really weird. But on the flip side, like I already mentioned, it was nice to see Højlund get 90 minutes, just to see that he can now hopefully be able to get those 90 minutes. But the guy's still raw. We still have time. We still need to give him time to get up to speed. Next point really was the next player that I want to talk about, really, Mejbri. I was very impressed with Mejbri. I don't know what you guys think, but I was very, very impressed with Mejbri because he just gave a lot. And, you can say this is maybe because of the fact that these guys he's younger, he's still hungry, he still wants to prove himself. But he was impressive, in that middle of the park, especially when you compare him to McTominay, who, once again, I don't think he should have started. Fair enough, Amrabat maybe he's not up to speed yet, but I would find any other way not to play McTominay today. I think he was, once again, not great. Maybe not as bad as against Bayern in that little cameo that he gave, but he wasn't great. And this is the third game running now. He started against Brighton, wasn't great. Came on against Bayern, wasn't great. BBB Burnley, he started the game, and once again for me, he just wasn't it. So it was good to see. On the flip side, it was good to see Hannibal play so well. Play with a bit of what we used to get from Scott. With the passion and the desire, and going into every tackle. And I think, and it wasn't just that. He helped progress the team. He helped win some balls back in the right places. Play some really good passes. So I was very impressed with Mejbri's performance today. Going forward, obviously, I don't really see him being in the team much anyway. Hopefully now with Amrabat back, which is another point. It's nice to see him come on as a sub. With him in the team, hopefully you'll be able to see that Casemiro and Amrabat pairing. At times, Mount might be back soon as well, so maybe he'll get back in the team. Eriksen was nowhere to be seen today. Bruno, I could literally spend this whole video talking about Bruno again, but I think he's world class, and I think he's world class anyway. Casemiro also had a good game, and I want to say that just because a lot of us have been getting on to Casemiro this season. He had a good game. So I was happy to see that. Now, yes, this is Burnley, and let's get to some of the concerns other than the subs. Burnley had about 70% possession today, right? And yes, they're at home. We're playing away. We're under a bit of pressure at the moment. We're struggling for form, but really, it's and like Jason started off by saying 3 points, shot. That's all we want. 3 points. We just cared about the 3 points. But when are we going to start controlling games? When are we going to start looking like a good team? We can already say as a fact, right? Whether you thought it or not beforehand, as a fact from the start of today, after City won their game, even from when we lost to probably Spurs, our season in terms of title challenge, that was never. It was a non-starter. It was never going to be a thing. Now I think we're 12, no, 9 points, obviously, because we won 9 points behind City. That's just, I mean, whatever. Like, I mean, we're nowhere near them. But can we push back into that top four? Well, looking at our performance today, it's hard to see on this performance, but caveat that with the fact that obviously this was, you look at the starting lineup. We had Mesbury in the team. We had well, who else did we have in the team? That Regulon really in the team. Lindelof in the team. We didn't have even Martinez obviously because he's injured. So we had a back line of Lindelof. That whole back line wouldn't be starting. Even Dallo. We love Dallo, but he's not a Wan-Bissaka. So this is not our first 11, nowhere near our first 11. Martin has been injured, makes it like now half of the team, almost half of the first team or more, is injured. So hopefully, once these players start coming back, like I mentioned already, we'll start getting some better performances and start climbing up. Like you said in the chat there, they'll start climbing and we'll start climbing up the league. But Jace, I have to agree. The football today, what was it? What were we? What were we really supplying there? What were we giving on the pitch there? It wasn't really giving me any type of control vibes or anything like that. We had 30%, I think, average possession. Burnley had 70. Once again, Burnley are a possession-based team, but it's Burnley. Do you think City would let Burnley do that? No. And okay, maybe our standards need to drop because we can't necessarily be comparing ourselves to City anymore at this stage until we get our act together. But I'm always going to do that because we want to be the best. And yeah, so sorry. One final point before I finish. Onana, clean sheet. Well done, son. Well done, bro. Well done, Mr. African King, African Giant. Well done. Because he's under pressure. Once again, I keep caveating it with the fact that, yes, it's Burnley. But clean sheet, he made some really good saves. I think one thing I would say about him, his saves, and I think Tom mentioned it in our group chat as well, his saves aren't convincing. He's always parrying it. The ball doesn't stick. He just doesn't look as convincing. And that might be because he hasn't really got his confidence in yet. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the clean sheet. You just have to bottom line, clean sheet, 3 points, can't complain. So well done to Onana because like I said, he did make some saves. Kept us in the game, and a simple one mistake from him today again. Look, we only scored one goal today, so and we struggled in front of goal. Rashford didn't really kick it off. Like I said, Rasmus was a bit rusty, or raw is what I like to say really with him. But yeah, I mean, there's the game. Those are my thoughts on the game. But going forward, like I said, I've mentioned a couple of times, next game now is Crystal Palace in the League Cup on Tuesday. That's not far away. I see Ten Hag as this is our cup. This is our League Cup. So we're defending that cup. So he's going to play a strong team. Let's be honest. For the fact that he didn't, you could argue both ways. The fact that he didn't make any subs today could show that he's saying, okay, actually, you guys aren't going to play on Tuesday anyway. So give me your all right now. But I see him. He's the kind of manager that says, just play yourself into form. He's going to play probably a very strong team on Tuesday. So that, and when I say that, it's concerning because we already got all these injuries. Regulon came off as well with a hamstring, I think, issue. Even Evans, our big man of the match, he might just be tired because he's an old man, right? He came off as well. So do we even have the players in the back line anyway to play? Let's hope so. Because also when you think about who was it? You got players like Varane coming back, which is great. Maybe Mount will be back. Amrabat will be back. But Amrabat came on. He was playing left back. So honestly, anyway, going forward, Crystal Palace next. Let's see what we can do in that regard. And we've got obviously some players coming back, which is good to see. And funny enough, we've got Crystal Palace twice. We've got Crystal Palace in the Cup and then in the league as well, both at Old Trafford. It's Tuesday and Saturday. Anyway, let me know what you think about that, about the team, about the performance. Jason said the football is around. The football wasn't great, but let's stay positive. We will climb. We must climb now. We've got some really, really good fixtures. We have to win. We have to win them all. Simple as. Bruno for me, man of the match. I'm still going to say it. Thanks for watching the video. Obviously, another live just after the game. Going to try and do these for the late games because I think we're going to have a few late games because of Champions League. For the late games, I might try and do post-match reviews as live. So, keep a lookout for them. Chuck your, comments in, join the live chat, and let me know how you feel. And, maybe once or twice we can chuck the StreamYard link in the chat and get some of you on the screen to have a chat with me and get your thoughts out on the post-match review as well. Like I said, thanks for watching. Drop a like on the stream, drop a like on the video. Obviously, it's always good to get the likes up because, let me even do my own like now, because it's good for the algorithm, right? So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. And we've got a preview for Crystal Palace going to be coming very soon because the games are coming thick and fast. Rapid Kid, you weren't rapid enough. You just got here. You're going to have to watch it back. See you on the next one. Peace out.